Let's talk about the products I have bought and tried in March. I want to go through my monthly purchases, and this is for March. I know I'm a little bit behind, but I have been trying a lot of makeup and I want to, try it and give you my honest opinion. And yeah, so let's get started. So this is everything I bought in March. I don't have a lot, but the products I have are quite good. So let's get started. If you're wondering what I'm wearing on my lips, is my new Power 28 lip jelly in the shade Wild. I love this one. It has a nice oily consistency with a nice cherry hint of color on the lips, so I definitely recommend this shade. But let's start with the first product I bought in March, and this is the MAC Studio Radiance Face and Body Radiant Sheer Foundation. This is in the shade C1, and this was... I had a $10 coupon off and I bought it for $21 at MAC at the Bay here in Canada, and I am so happy with this purchase. This foundation is very radiant. It provides a very natural coverage, and at the same time you can build it up and cover your imperfection and redness on your face. And it's a very wonderful foundation to wear on those hot days and even on those no makeup days. Love this foundation. I recommend it. I will repurchase it when I will finish it. It's just perfect for every day, for those times when you want to go to the beach as well. Definitely recommend this one. I have been loving it, and it's here on my vanity desk. Next, still from MAC, I have bought two shades. I have bought the MAC eyeshadow in the shade Swiss Chocolate, and this is such a pretty chocolatey eyeshadow. I want to own a lot of this individual eyeshadows. I have been into more individual eyeshadows than palettes, but this shade is gorgeous for that nice outer corner that you want to build. This was, again, I had like 25% off, and this was $40, but $40 for both. And my next shade I'm talking about is the shade Sable Frost, and it's more of this velvety shimmery shade. Not a lot of shimmer. It's very nice and glowy, like a nice and glowy bronzy shade. I love these two shades together. I bought them together because I tested them like this, and I think that they're so pretty. So definitely recommend these eyeshadows by MAC. I have purchased in the past. I have another shimmery one, and I will have another one coming up in future videos, but definitely recommend these shades by MAC. And it's so fun if you don't want to buy those big eyeshadow palettes, which do cost a lot of money. It's nice to have these individual ones because it's so easy to travel with as well. Moving right along, my next product I bought is a Glossier, and this is the Cloud Paint in the shade Storm. Now, this is Glossier came to Sephora. I'm sure you guys know by now. I have four more shades. So after I bought those 4 shades, I really wanted to try this shade, and this is what I'm wearing today on my cheek. You can see how intense this is, but on the cheek it transfers so beautifully, and this was $26. I love this shade. A little bit goes a long way, and you can build it up or put just a little bit with a brush or your sponge, and it melts into the skin. And these are my favorite cream blushes that I recommend, from packaging to shades to longevity. This actually lasts all day long on the cheeks without getting that patchiness by the end of the day. I don't know if you know, but when you wear certain cream blushes, by the end of the day, you're left with certain patchiness on the skin if you look up close. But these ones, they don't. It's the way you apply them. That's how they are by the end of the night. And all of those shades that I have purchased, I have a video on my channel with all the other shades. They last all day long. I don't know how, but there's no patchiness. And even when you blend it, it just blends smoothly into the skin. It gets absorbed into the this more diffused color. And again, you don't see any patchiness on the actual skin. So definitely recommend this blushes by Glossier. And come on, look at the packaging. It is just so pretty. I love them. Now, moving right along, I have purchased by GIVENCY, and I love GIVENCY, and I want to get their concealer as well. But I have so many concealers that I don't think I need another concealer. So I bought a product that I don't have in my collection, and this is the GIVENCY Prisme Libre Skin Caring Corrector. This was $39, and this is the one in the shade green. What I love about this is that you can even use it as a primer underneath your face. It has a very nice green color, and it actually eliminates some redness that you have on the skin. Let's put it over this blush, and you can see how it diffuses the redness. You can see the blush still here, but here where we covered it, it's diffused. So this, again, it's a skin corrector. It's not supposed to eliminate your redness completely, but it's supposed to correct it and diffuse it. It has a very nice smell. I can't describe it. It's a perfumey smell, but nothing too out of the ordinary, nothing too strong. It disappears throughout the day. It's not going to upset you, even if you don't love perfumed formulas. I don't know, for some reason I love this, and I love to use this even as a primer, mostly in this area where you have more redness. Definitely recommend it. And only thing is, which has nothing to do with the actual product, but I can see that eventually the writing is going to rub off. So that's my only thing, but the packaging is still stunning. I love it. So there's a lot of product in here. You don't need to use a lot. It's just beautiful. I have a video on this as well with my full review. Let's move on to Makeup by Mario, one of my most favorite brands out there. I want to purchase all of the Makeup by Mario brushes, the dual-ended brushes. I was never into those brushes, but after seeing Mario use them, I think that they are so useful and much better than a one-ended brush. The dual-ended brushes, I have to figure out a way on how to store them because I don't like to wreck either side of the brush. Anyways, we are not talking about brushes, but we are talking about 3 products that I've purchased from Makeup by Mario. These are the Makeup by Mario Master Pro Pigment Pencils. I have the one in Plum, Perfect Brown, and Black, and I love this shade. On one side, which I never know which side it is. So on one side, again, where you have the name Mario is the actual brush. And on the other side, you have the actual pencil. Now, I love these pencils. They are $22. You go through them quite a lot because you have to sharpen it. Yeah, my favorite shade out of them all is obviously the Perfect Brown and the Black. I would stay away from the Plum. However, the Plum is also a very nice addition for your under eye area. Now, here they all are. This is the Plum, Perfect Brown, and Black. I can tell that the Perfect Brown and Black are much more softer, easier to work with. Now, maybe because I have not used the Plum one as much, they're also pretty. They last in the waterline wonderfully. If you put them in the morning, you can still have the nice smokiness underline area by the end of the day. I'm comparing them to the Sephora 12-hour eyeliners. Now, those ones I love, and I'm talking about this ones right here. This is in the shade Tiramisu. They're so beautiful, but these ones don't seem to last as much in the waterline. However, they do last a very long time, as well as the Makeup by Mario ones in the actual line on the skin. But the Makeup by Mario ones do last in the waterline very beautifully and not patchy. So I definitely recommend them. Favorite shades again is Perfect Brown and Black. You can stay away from Plum, or if I were to choose one, maybe choose the Perfect Brown because you can use it as smokiness, and also if you don't want an intense look, that brown is perfect. Okay, let's move on to some palettes. When I bought these palettes, and they're all by Natasha Denona, they were on sale, and I thought Natasha Denona is going to disappear from the Sephora website because she had a lot of sales on her actual palettes. And the first one I bought is the Natasha Denona Retro palette. And this, I bought it for $43.50. Original price was $87. And I'm so happy I got this and the other two palettes I'm going to talk about. I love Natasha Denona formula, and if I can accumulate all of her palettes, I would. The only thing is, I don't understand. You guys can see that these shades, you can pop them out. So you can see in the back, you can pop them out and create your own palette or mix and match with our others. Now, I never understood that part because look at the names. The names, you cannot remove them with the actual shadow. So if I put this one in a different palette, how am I gonna know what's the shade name and vice versa? And how do I know to bring it back to its original spot? Unless if you pop them out, which I haven't tried, you can see the name on the back of the actual shadow, maybe, but what's the point? Because if I bring other shadows from other palettes and put it in this spots, the names are not going to be correct. So I never understood that part. That's why I never touched and popped out my palettes. I think that they look beautiful. You can also rearrange them in here on the colors or shimmers, based on colors, however you want. But again, the names don't move. So I never understood that part. It's a fun concept, but it's not very helpful for the way my brain works. So this is the first palette I got. Next, I picked up the Natasha Denona Retro Glam palette for the same price, which is $43.50. Now look at this color story. This matches my shirt very nicely. It's so pretty. I love it. I thought at first that I cannot use this on a daily basis, but yes, you can. Don't be afraid of these greens, of these colors. There's a lot of nudes in here that you can use by themselves. You can just use this and this, create a nice, elegant, yet sophisticated and very not too crazy look. So I love this palette. Or you can go with this shade and this shimmer. I think that they're so wearable and so nice. I'm happy I picked this one up. And another palette that I had to pick up, which was a mini palette, and I don't have the big one. It's the Natasha Denona Mini Zendo palette. And this was $17 Canadian. Original is $34. These shades are just so pretty. I just love them. Look at this. So stunning. I love the roses and the silver and the dark burgundy brown. Very cute palette. I think that these shades go really good with the Makeup by Mario pencils. This palette is just, again, another great steal. Very beautiful for $17. You can't go wrong with Natasha Denona. So every time you see a palette on sale, I suggest you grab it because they're just very beautiful formulas. Now, another product, this is not Natasha Denona, but my next one is a concealer. I am so happy I picked this one up. Again, this is by Glossier, and this is the Glossier Concealer, Stretch Concealer in the shade G11. I love this one. This was $26. This, look inside. It looks like a balm, but it's so emollient. It's like a nice cream, and it's so hydrating that you can just do your face with this concealer for those no makeup days. I am going to bring this when I go to the beach on vacation because I think with the heat and humidity, I think that this concealer would look really nice on the face without becoming cakey, and it just becomes one with your skin. I love this concealer. I have been using it. I'm very impressed with it. I have dry skin. I have lines underneath my eyes, and it does look very nice. Now, every concealer, like I said, it will eventually settle in your fine lines, including your foundation. All you have to do is just slowly tap it. I love to use this concealer without even using powder underneath my eyes, and it looks wonderful. So definitely recommend this one. This provides light to medium coverage. If you want more coverage, I would go with the Nars concealers, but if you have dry skin, this is a beautiful concealer. There's a lot of favorites in today's video. Now, my next product I bought in March is, and you guys know I already have a video on this. This is the new Rare Beauty blush in the shade Virtue. This is my favorite blush shades out of the blushes she came out with. I know she came out with another one. I think it's called Wonder. But this shade, it's a nice peachy brick type of color. A little bit goes a long way. They last all day long on your face and they blend with your skin. They mash into your foundation really nicely without lifting your foundation, without becoming patchy. It has a nice soft hydrating feel to it, not feeling too oily, not feeling too glossy. It's just perfect, and the shade is what I love about this so much. I have a full video on this actual blush. You can go check that one out. Definitely recommend it. $21, you cannot go wrong. If you want a blush from Sephora, the blushes by Rare Beauty are perfect because you get a lot of product. All you need is one blush for a lifetime. That's all you need. So definitely recommend them. My last product I have bought in the month of March for $35. This was quite expensive, always out of stock. Eventually came in stock and I picked it up. Is the, oh yeah, the Rare Beauty blush. I spent $21. They're usually $30, but I have a $10 coupon. But this one was $35, and this is the Nars Pro Prime Smudge Proof Eyeshadow Base. I love this. I can see a difference in this. This product is, I don't know how it works. It comes on to be oily at first and looks like patchy, and you know, like you don't think it's gonna work. It reminds me of the Urban Decay eyeshadow primer. But eventually when you pat it into the skin, it dries down more, not completely dry. You still feel some hydration, but more satin feeling type of coverage. So not completely dry. It doesn't dry up your skin, but it doesn't leave your eyelids oily. So if you have oily eyelids like I do, this actually works. It keeps your eyeshadow in place all day long. There's going to be absolutely no creasing in that crease area. There's going to be no patchiness throughout the day. Your eyeshadow stays in place in a beautiful way, not drying, not smudging, not falling out. I love this. I didn't want to love this so much, but I do. I have used concealer before with powder as my eyeshadow base, and eventually after wearing the eyeshadow for many hours, you can eventually see in my crease, I have hooded eyelids, I have oilier eyelids. You can see in my crease the actual shadow accumulating and piling up. I didn't like that. You can get a brush or your finger and fix it, but this, you don't need to do that. So yeah, these were all of my products I have purchased in March. I hope that this was helpful. In today's video, it looks like all we had is favorites. You don't have to go buy all of these products. This is just to give you an idea and for me to keep track of products I purchased every month. And I have tried all of this and I know that they do work for me, for my preference in color, in skin type. I love them. I hope that this was helpful and maybe you love some of them as well. Let me know down below. If you enjoyed it, please don't forget to subscribe, and I cannot wait to see you in my next one. Love you guys. Bye.